Hello and welcome to today's chapter of Shulchan Aruch, chapter Siman Kufnun Zayin, chapter 157, Dine Kala V'nichneses L'chuppah, prenuptial laws. Number 1. A woman who's preparing herself for a wedding must count 7 menstrually clean days, whether she's a minor and who has never perceived blood, or whether she's an aged woman whose blood has long ceased. Nevertheless, we suspect that perhaps because of her anticipation, some drops of blood issued from her and disappeared. Therefore, we regard her as an actual niddah. After having counted the 7 clean days, she must examine herself daily until she performs the ritual immersion, and also after the immersion, until the ordained consummation of the marital act. Even after the wedding, she must examine herself daily until the consummation of the first marital act. Similar. Number 2, if the wedding was cancelled, if the groom cancelled but the bride did not give up the idea and he was convinced to go through with it, she does not need to count anew, says the Taz. If the bride made up her mind not to marry him and then she changed her mind, she must count anew, and that's an Aruch HaShulchan. The Makor Chaim says she does not need to. If it was cancelled for some reason and afterward they agreed to hold the wedding, even though she had already counted 7 clean days the first time, nevertheless she must count them anew, because the new desire has been created in her. If she has examined herself during the interval, it is of no avail. If it was not a definite cancellation, but they were unable to agree about the amount of the dowry or the like, or because of this the wedding was delayed until they came to terms, or if they postponed the wedding by mutual consent from the original day to a different day, they should consult a posek to determine if the first clean days are of avail. If they quarrelled at the wedding and another groom took the place of the first, it is self-evident that there is no validity to 7 clean days that she counted for the first bridegroom. But even after consenting to marry the second groom, she became reconciled with the first one. There is no validity to the first 7 clean days because the thoughts were diverted from him. She must count anew 7 clean days. Number 3, a woman should be careful not to marry before she purifies herself with her unclean menstrual status. If it is urgent and the wedding must be held when she is still unclean, but if it occurred that she became menstrually unclean after the wedding ceremony but before the consummation of the marital act, they are forbidden to be alone together without supervision until she has performed the rite of immersion. It is customary to place a male child with the groom and a female child with the bride. They may not be alone even during the daytime without the children. The children must be old enough to understand something about marital relations. The girl must not be fully mature, already having desire, lest she permit herself to be seduced, but of average maturity. Regarding this law, there is no distinction between a groom who has never been married and a widower, or between a virgin and a widow, for as long as he has never had marital relations with that woman, we may fear that he may succumb to his passions, and therefore they are prohibited to be alone without supervision. Number 4, when one remarries the woman he divorced, she must count 7 clean days. This rule applies even if he divorced her while she was pregnant, and remarried her while she was still pregnant, or if he divorced her while she was nursing a child and remarried her while she was still nursing. If he violated this rule and remarried her before her 7 clean days and immersion, they are permitted to be alone together. Since he already had marital relations with her, his impulse will not be so overpowering. Number 5. Extreme care should be taken that the groom should not lie next to the bride until the night he wishes to consummate their marriage. Number 6. One who marries a virgin who should perform the ordained marital act, and even if there is an issue of hymenal blood, he should conclude the act and need have no scruples about it. However, after concluding the act, he must separate himself from her, and she is regarded as unclean. And even if no blood is perceived, we suspect perhaps a drop of blood issued from her and was covered up by the semen. Therefore, we regard her as menstrually unclean. Number 7. Virgin perform the rite of immersion after the first marital act, and perceived blood is after the second marital act, and also after the third and fourth time. It is questionable halachically if she is permitted to remain with her husband. If, however, the marital acts were painful to her, the blood may be the result of a wound caused by the loss of her virginhood. A vow must be consulted in any case. Number 8. It is permitted to perform the marital act with the virgin on Shabbos, even though it causes a bruise. Thank you for listening and all the best. Bye.